Hambini fans, and welcome. Now you join me in the middle of a suburb of Manchester, and we are here to meet a Hambini fan. And oh fuck, we're in the way. Oh, there we go. Right, so we've come to meet this chap. Now he actually ran into my brother in the supermarket, and that is how he got onto me. So let's meet him now. We'll do the hello Hambini fans when he comes through the door. Hello Hambini fan!
Well, hello, Mr. Hambini.
I've never done that before. Are you scared?
No, not at all.
So this is a chap called Les, and he ran into my brother in the supermarket. Was he in the tampon aisle because he's a pussy?
It was in B&Q, and I thought it was you, and it was your twin.
Well, there we go. Right, so he contacted me. He needed a bottom bracket for one of his bikes. So that's where we are today. So we've got something a bit different.
But I've also got a few just to show you fans.
Okay, go on then. Do you want to talk us through it?
Right, this one here.
Ooh.
This is my winter bike. It's a 1985 Colnago. Bought it off eBay. Just a frame, £400. And I built it up myself. It should have Campanoli, but I didn't have anything, so I put Shimano 105 on. Runs smooth. NTM bearings.
All right. Well, there's a
NTM
tick in the box.
This is my Focus.
Look at them. What? That's not even welded. It's lugged.
Yeah, that's what they're known for, isn't it?
Lugged.
It's a high-end bike. This very sought after.
Is it?
Yeah, are you really Colnago?
Yeah.
Yeah, very sought after bike because look at the framework. The tubing, look.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, if you look up Colnago PIU
Yeah.
on the internet, you'll see that they're very sought after bike. That's just an all-day mountain bike.
Oh, we don't do mountain bikes
Well,
on that.
I don't know, mate. I've only had it for a month, but I've upgraded it. I put a new crank on it and messed about with it.
Is it any good?
It's okay. It's my bum a bit. This one here.
Look at the seat.
Yeah, just trying it out.
All right.
This one here is my first bike I got, a Focus Clubro. Aluminium, carbon wheels,
Yeah.
carbon handlebars, seat post stem, single,
One speed.
one bar at the front.
What did you do with the other lever then? Did you just leave it flapping?
Just nothing, it's just dead, just a brake.
Okay.
8 kilo
Oh, that is pretty lightweight.
for an aluminium.
Yeah.
Carbon fork, I put the carbon fork on myself, full carbon.
Yeah.
This
That's
is
actually quite a
aero
nice fork, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I like to mess about with myself.
Quality of the welding on that's pretty good, that.
Yeah. I've had it about 10 years, that one.
Have you?
Yeah. Done a lot of case.
Oh, you can get one of my new Hambini bottom brackets threaded.
Yeah, well, I don't know. This one I got off eBay again. When Rally was in production many years ago in the 80s.
In Nottingham.
In Nottingham.
Oh, you don't see that very often.
A Rally Road Ace.
Made in England.
Yeah. When they was in production,
Yeah.
this was the high-end frame. The highest frame you ever made. You know, the top spec.
Yeah.
Again off eBay, just a frame. £400 again. I built it up myself. Carbon wheels, handlebars, seat. This only weighs 8 kilo. Steel.
Steel is real.
Steel. I've been on that today, 30 miles on that today.
Reynolds 531.
531, yeah.
Wow.
Single chain again, look.
28mm tyres.
20mm. Just fit in the rear. Just clear. Only just.
Oh, that looks like a H7 fit to me.
Very. If I climb the hills too much, pull too hard on it, sometimes it slip.
Does it rub?
And it rubs, so you got to keep a... So that's the bike I feel most comfortable on, you know, the fit.
Yeah.
Even though they're all the same size, the frames,
Yeah.
and I've measured everything, that seems to be... I don't know if it's because it's got flat handlebars, I don't know what it is, but it seems to be the best fit. Another sought after frame. Very hard to get hold of.
See, I've never seen any of this stuff before, so this is like fascinating for me.
Valley Road Ace, yeah. But if you look at Valley Road Ace, very hard to get hold of.
I don't know.
There's a guy on YouTube, call him, he makes his own bikes, he's got his own bike, I can't think of his name, but he restores all bikes.
Oh, Bike It.
Bike
A
It.
chap called Andy.
Yeah, he had one,
Yeah.
And he couldn't believe how he got it and how he come across it, but exactly the same as that.
Well, that one's buttered as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Plugged, sorry.
Yeah. That's where it used to be the old pump. Look, years ago, you used to click the pump to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but like I say, one buy again.
What do you think of 1X transmission? You know, for one of the Hambini fans, they're like normal people.
For me,
And not Nandrel owned.
It's not too bad. See, I've got a 32 SRAM cassette in there, which is lighter than a normal Shimano.
Yeah.
So I stuck a 32 on there. I get on with all that. It's quite hilly where I live, in the walls around here, so I get on all right with them.
Yeah.
But in the winter, I just use my Colnago because it's double chaining at the front. Just helps you along a bit more. 50-34 on the front.
Wow. You got so many bikes.
Yeah, I restore them. You see, I buy bikes off the internet, I just restore them, and I sell them.
Wow.
And that's just, I bought that from a lad in a village near me, £400, and I've upgraded it, put new carbon seat posts, handlebars, carbon. I've got a new carbon fork coming, not suspension. I've got a, you know, it's a solid one. It's not no rigid fork. That's full carbon. That's coming from China.
Wow. There's a chap called Trace Velo. Have you seen him?
Trace fellow, yeah.
Yeah, he's into
Yeah, he
carbon.
buys all Chinese stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't ended up in A&E yet.
No, it's. But I mean, my wheels. These wheels I've got in here, like Super Team. These are all from China. Super Team.
Is it AliExpress or whatever?
No, I got it. They're just off eBay.
Oh, okay.
Super Team. Type Super Team. But they're a well-known company in China.
Yeah.
But I've had no issue. Trues, lovely. The only problem is with these wheels, the bearings aren't so big in the front.
Yeah, they look like.
They're like skateboard bearings, but they're still. See, I've took all the seals
699s,
out
are they?
mine.
Yeah.
Took the seals out both sides, blew the grease out of, and put 2 drops of sewing machine oil in them.
And it runs like a sewing machine.
Look.
Wow.
Won't stop.
No. That is quite impressive.
That's what I use. Just sewing machine oil.
For a hub from China, that's actually pretty quiet, because I've seen some that are crap, but that one seems fairly reasonable.
And normal wheels, if you've noticed, normal wheels, you'll see bits of black tape.
You balance them?
Balanced.
Oh, that's what we like to see. ISO G2.5.
All balanced.
We're going to be getting a video on balancing soon. Vibration.
I do. I mean, if I was putting that in the stand now,
Yeah.
without the lead weights on the wheels, it'd rock. But now you put it and it's solid, it doesn't move.
It's a bit, the thing is, it's a bit unusual, because you see, normally you'd expect the balance weight to be opposite the...
Yeah. Well,
that
I
one's
don't
off
know
there.
why it is. You'd have thought that would have been in the heavy spot.
Yeah.
But it didn't. I blew all the grease out to make it run free.
So the heavy spot was on that side?
Yeah, you'd have thought so, but no, it's there. So, yeah, heavy spot's here.
It's the same on the back
And it's the same with them wheels I've got on the car now are just cheap winter wheels what I use.
Yeah.
You know, 60 quid is off eBay, but the bearings are brilliant on a Fulcrum hubs.
Wow.
Can't pay that for that. This is the bike in question.
Oh, this is the problematic one, is it?
Same again.
Wow. Look at that.
Same again. Wheels from China, Super Team, no problem with them. That's I've had that about 7 years. But I put it here because the sun's out. These spin, all balanced. No problem, just keep turning and turning and turning.
I like that. Is that machined or forged?
That's just titanium. Titanium off the internet again.
Yeah.
Skewer, yeah.
I like a bit of machine, especially when it's pink.
Carbon bottle cage, bone trigger. Everything's carbon. Bars a lot.
And this is the infamous bottom bracket.
This is it. When I did it
Go on,
myself,
anyone talk the people through it?
when I discovered my bottom bracket was creaking, as you know, these are press fit are known for it. No matter what you do, they'll always creak. So I thought I'd try it myself. So I popped the bearings out, got the new bearings, which are these are here, pushed them in, but I pushed them in too far, and I pushed this outer sleeve in as well.
Gotta have a job getting that out now.
So what I had to do, I had to try somehow come from the other side and push it back.
Yeah.
Push it back, and that's the
Damaged
problem.
it, yeah.
It's damaged all the plastic,
Yeah.
and the bearings still feel a bit gritty. So this is hence why I've come to the main man.
The main man.
The main man.
The main man.
For one of his bottom brackets.
I have to say his grass is really exceptional. I like his
Do you
grass.
think so?
I think so. Right.
Yeah, so that's the money question.
FSA press fit 30. I'm not sure you can actually fit a one piece in there.
I've no idea. This is where you come in. I don't know.
Okay.
I've just seen one of your videos where you actually did one.
Yeah.
A press fit PF30.
Yeah.
And I'm just thought, well, mine's a PF30.
Yeah.
So I thought two and two together.
Yeah.
Bangs. Bob's your uncle, but
There's a couple of things. Firstly, you know this metal piece here,
yeah, that's chain guard.
the chain guard, that's going to come off.
That's
Can I pull
no
it off?
problem anyway, because I've got the cranks I've got on now wide chain rings anyway. Single on again.
Okay. So
So
if I pull that off, that's not a problem.
Not a problem.
Yeah, it's just because of the flange here.
Oh,
It's gonna
yeah,
butt
I
up
did
against
think
it.
that.
And
I
then
don't know what it's holding on by, but just probably big. I don't know.
on this side, getting it out. Ooh.
Well, won't you be able to knock it from the other side out on that lip?
Yeah.
Because, like I say, this is actually moved, so it's freed,
Have you
isn't
put
it?
something in there, a filler or something?
No, nothing. All I did was push that bearing in, and that plastic was bowing in as I was shoving in.
See, I think you might have had a little bit of a frame defect.
This just popped off, just cracked off. There's a bit of plastic there.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just like a plastic thing what they've stuck on.
See, I know you wanted to put a PF30 bottom bracket in, but I wouldn't recommend you did it. I'd recommend you go for it probably to Shimano. The reason is, this side, because of the way the plastic is, you need basically a flat surface to for it to locate.
Yeah. Well, like I say, you'll know better than me, and I just thought, like I
so you know this piece,
yeah.
It's all loose.
Yeah, it's when I took it off, it just cracked. I just stuck it back with a bit of sealant.
Okay. Oh, okay. So that's what that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that'll come off.
Right.
If you need to, but like you say, if it's not going to work.
And then that bit's aluminium inside.
Yeah.
So is there this one could be a bit of a tricky one.
So whatever you think, if you decide to go Shimano, I've got Shimano spare set of them cranks.
Yeah. But you want PF30.
Well, I just thought it might have been easy for you.
Yeah.
If you could just pop one in like I've seen.
Yeah.
If it's going to be a problem, do whatever you think best.
Okay.
You know.
All right. Well, I'll keep you in the loop. Right.
7.5 kilo.
Well, it's one speed, isn't it? 1X. Is that one 1X? Oh, you got front neck. I was wondering what that was.
That's the front neck. That's Cayo. I don't use it. I've got only got one cog on the front. Just took front. Saves 200 grams.
So I got a Focus Cayo.
Cayo, yeah, 2013.
German engineered.
Made in.
Hergestellt in
Made
China. China? Is it
in.
Cambodia?
Where are all carbon bikes made now?
So well, no, a lot of them made in China. So
Where's this one made?
I've no idea.
Probably China, I think. It's only designed in Germany and made
wherever.
Yeah.
So there we go, Hambini fans. We will be resuming this, Les's bike, somehow a bit later. So we've got Les's bike back, and we need to get his old bottom bracket out. So what we're going to do is get it out with a sleeve and a puller. Now it's quite difficult for me to thread this while this thing's in the air because, well, it's just a fucker really. But we'll nonetheless give it the best whirl I can. Okay, so it's threaded up. No, I think we're going to have to give this one a miss. We'll try a different way. Probably try the other side first. So we're going to try that again on the other side. There's no metal piece to get in the way on this side, so hopefully it should just pop out. doddle, absolute doddle. So that's got that out, so we can now proceed to see what we've got to play with. So we've got the other side out, so the shell is now clear, as you can see, and let me show you what came out. So these are the original FSA cups, and it fitted some actually very good quality SKF bearings inside. Now, what I've done is, well, prior to just shooting this bit, I checked the sizes just by hand, but we have the discs just to prove it. So that's a 45.96 disc, and there's not a cat in hell's chance that's going to go. Given this is a machined aluminium shell, I would have thought they'd be bang in the middle of the tolerance, but that is undersized. So, and it's the same on the other side, it's undersized. So, I mean, the limit is 46, so yeah, that's even worse, look. This sort of stuff came off, so we just need to clean that shell up, and we're going to have to push it in from this side as opposed to the drive side. So basically we're going to have to go to a Shimano crank, because the normal one, the 30mm, is unsuitable. He'll just chew bearings left, right and centre. So this is the drive side. I've left it totally as is, and I'll show you, because we don't actually need it, and I'm reluctant to go anywhere near this because I think the decal will peel away. I've just cleaned it. It might not look clean, but I have cleaned it. But I'll show you the other side. So this is the non-drive side, so I've cleaned all the way around, removed all the decals and everything. It exposes the aluminium sleeve that's been glued in, and we're going to put the bottom bracket in that way. What I did was I measured to make sure that, with one of my other bottom brackets, to make sure that it wouldn't impinge on the white bit, so it would actually line up straight. So that surface is pretty flat, so that's good. So we'll just put the bottom bracket in now. Normally, I'd recommend the use of retaining compound, but because of the fit, and we're going to use this type of bottom bracket, and it's in aluminium, I'm going to use grease. Now that is, you know, there's usual blanket guidance that people do that say, oh, use such and such on whatever. Well, I tailor the guidance depending on what the material is. So we'll put this in. Actually, it was probably better off putting it in here. I should have done that really. Put some more on the other side. And then we will get ready to push this in. Clean that up a bit. Now we should just be able to squeeze this in. God, that was tight. Ugh. We're almost there. Yep, we're in. So what I've done here is I've cleaned up all the grease off it. I've just checked in behind there to make sure it's fully home. And I can put the bearings in and then give it a spin. What I'm doing now is I'm just putting the bearings in. Sides in. Why is that side not going in? Oh, both sides are in. Yep. Right, put the top hats in and give it a spin now. Top hat already installed on that crank, end of the crank. So this is a Dura-Ace, it's the usual test crank I use. Put that through. And then we'll put the other top hat in. I suppose you could just do this before you put the rest of it on, but it doesn't really matter. And then we can put that on and check it. So there we go. Job well done. I'm well pleased with that one. I thought that one was going to be a right fucking pain in the rear end. Right, with that done, let's go and see Les. Well, I wasn't quite sure if I should bother doing a PowerPoint, but there were so many complaints after last week's non-PowerPoint that I just had to do one. So, I've done a PowerPoint, which I have called this. Oh, shit. I've got, is the pen working? We better check the pen. Pen check. Oh, fuck. Where's the fuck? Ah! Pen check. Right, so the pen is working. Right, so to be honest, I was really miffed with this one because, I mean, fuck, it's just shit. It's just shit. Right, the opinions of a 5-year-old dyslexic cunt. How the fuck can you machine a hole in aluminium wrong? Now, I mean, buy Hambini age 5. By the way, you can get merchandise with all that shit on now. In fact, I have some. Stickers. Anyway, enough of that. I'm just fucking around. Right, to be honest, I'm like, I'm struggling to believe the shenanigans that went on with this one. I just cannot believe that anyone can do it. But anyway, someone did it. So this is how, I mean, the problem with all of this is the analysis is largely what I think. So based on the evidence that's available, my opinion of what they've done. Now, it's not completely foolproof. I mean, I could have gone down the wrong road. But, I mean, this is a bit of an atypical frame because it's aluminium that's being glued into carbon. So in theory, you shouldn't be able to get it wrong. But anyway, they have done. Right, so let's start with this. Right, so Focus, who are they? Well, they go around professing to be German. So German engineering. I mean, I can't think of many good German engineers. I mean, the first one that springs to mind is Volkswagen, and what do? Well, I think they're being sued by lots of people for Dieselgate. What else can I think of? German engineers. Can't say the second one because I'll get more complaints. I know. Yes, my Bosch drill, my Bosch blue drill, made in the German town of Leinfelden-Echterdingen, which is near Stuttgart. Which we'll come to in a minute. Anyway, German engine. Focus is German bike. So Les's bike is, it says it's got like German stickers all over it, and then it's engineered in Germany, and then it's made somewhere else. And I don't know where it's made, and he doesn't know where it's made. Right? They are part of Derby Cycle GmbH, which is like the German equivalent of a company that is on the stock exchange. So that is what GmbH means. So they're based in Kloppenburg. Well, they're not actually based in Kloppenburg, but we'll come to that in a second. Right, and they have, when I looked them up on Wikipedia, they are part of PON. So PON Holdings. They own Cervelo, Rally, and Focus. Incidentally, my Cervelo, I'm either going to chop up or sell. And I'm torn between the two, so there we go. Anyway, so these 3 brands, they own all of them, and they probably own a load of other brands associated with it. Now, if you go on the the Focus website, so this is the Focus website. I've just clicked on, I don't even know how I got here. This is the first page that came up. So every Thursday between April and September, you can go and ride with these guys somewhere near Stuttgart. So the meeting point is Rotenwaldstraße 158. Oh, sorry if you are German, I just spoke a bit of Cologne there, 50-ish. So, yes, but anyway, they're based in somewhere near Stuttgart. If you haven't been to Stuttgart, it's quite a nice place, to be honest. It's a bit hilly. And where's the... I don't even know if they're... bollocks, what do you say? The address is on here. Contact. You can't find it. Right, anyway, so Les's bike, and I couldn't find Les's bike either, so I clicked on road, and then we come up with these, race, endurance, cyclocross. And his is a Cayo or Cayo. It's probably, I don't know, which one is it? Does it really matter? We'll click on this one. So the Paralane. So all of this stuff, they have some crazy acronyms, right? They have an acronym called Comfortable, or CIA. Comfort Improving Areas, CIA. CIA reduces muscle fatigue by increasing rider comfort. The comfort of the bike is increased by making the tube cross sections of the seat stays, chain stays, and seat tube comfort improving areas as flat and flexible as possible. So if you make them flat and flexible, you will lose power. They don't say anything about that, but there you go. The reason you lose it is because as something bends, it never gives you back the energy you put in to bend it. So that's it. Rat axles, stable stiffness per size, and I've no idea what this is. This is like a guy coming out of his shed. So, don't know. Right, let me go back to this shit. Fuck. So anyway, this is what I think the bike is. What does it say about the bottom bracket? Yeah, so they've changed the design. So this one, the new one, says Shimano Press Fit Road BB86. So that is 41 nominal millimeters diameter and 86.5 millimeters nominally through it. Oh yeah, there's loads of blurbage in there. Anyway, it's kind of irrelevant because I don't care. So this is their page. This is all these guys who are... Oh yeah, it says they're based in Stuttgart. So these guys are pointing at something. I don't know. And then, yes, engineered in Germany. So we develop all our bikes in Stuttgart, Germany. German engineering has a centuries-long heritage of precision, craftsmanship, and durability. So that's why you make in China. Right. Sorry, you might make in the Far East, but I just said China because it's the biggest country in the Far East. Right. Let me take you back through to this. Oh, fuck. Right, how do you get this one? Right, fuck. Let's do the pen check. Yeah, right. So this bike frame. So Les bought the bike frame from a Focus main dealer. Now, for a long time, one of the big Focus main dealers, I think, was Wiggle and Chain Reaction. I don't know. And he's gone. I mean, you saw the video footage before it. He's chewed through bearings left, right, and centre, and he launched an SKF bearing. Now, SKF is a considerably larger company than Pon Holdings. And they use those products in loads of other things. Now, I'm not saying for 1 second SKF could get one bearing wrong, but the likelihood, considering Les has had a few, is unlikely. Okay, and then we get to this. clicking after new bearings installed, that is a telltale symptom of the hole being too small. So normally what happens is if you drew a circle like that, right? When you put something in that's too, so let's imagine that is the bottom bracket. When you put something in that's too big, what happens is you come along, okay, and then you do this because it's too big. Oh shit. Right, and then that pull interruption. Can I change colour? Fuck. Oh, I can. What shall I pick? Blue, purple. So this bit here is the click. So the outer race has shrunk. So outer race, you've squashed it, and it's put that little kink in, and that is the click. So that's what you can hear as you're riding, or feel as you're riding. You can often feel it. Now the other thing with this is, I mean, lots of people these days want really, really new bikes. They're only a couple of years old. I mean, my Look 386 is 20 years old, getting on for that. But the way the modern bikes are made generally, although they are moving back towards this, is to have carbon interfaces to the bottom bracket. Now, this one has aluminium that is glued in, and then you press into that. Because the aluminium is machined and you're not reliant on carbon shrinkage, you shouldn't get it wrong. You should not get it wrong. But anyway, so it's glued into the bottom bracket aperture. Okay. But anyway, it's a bit of an aside really, but I was going to say that you know, the Trek bike, the new Trek bikes, the new Specialized bikes, they have threaded bottom brackets. So they've got an aluminium insert that's been threaded, so the weight of the bike increases. Personally, it's a waste of time if you ask me. If you look at, for example, the Time Skylon, which is the gold standard of carbon manufacturing, it's got round holes, round well-sized holes. Every time I say this in one of my rants, I just can't believe it, you know. I'm praising someone for making a bike with a specification that they said they would make it to, and the holes are round. What the fuck? Anyway, right. So this is what was found. So normally I'd go and take the bike and do a proper CMM check on it, but I didn't have time because he needed the bike back quick, and because of the travel restrictions and all that jazz, just didn't have time to do it and sort it out. So I could only use hand calcs or micrometers basically. So I checked top and bottom. So 6 o'clock. So where's the 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I've done that wrong. You've just seen my dyslexia in full flight. I got 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock wrong. Anyway, so that one might be the non-drive side, and that one might be the drive side. To be honest, it's irrelevant. But what you can say is the holes are round, very round. I mean that 0.01 between there and there could easily be me fucking around with the micrometer and getting that wrong. So that's yeah, it's a round hole, and it's not really too much concern. It's not really what bothers me. What really bothers me is the actual size. So the size is supposed to be 45.95 to 46 millimeters. So they are way undersized. So they are potentially 0.12 millimeters undersized, which in this game is huge. Okay, completely unacceptable, totally unacceptable. I mean, just fucking unreal, absolute piece of shit machining. I don't know if it's the machining or what, but I mean that's the size of the hole that it is afterwards. So that's the final customer, that is what they've got as the size. So anyway, I've just said the limit is 45.95 to 6. it's an easy check, easy thing to check. You just get those gauges that I showed you, push it in, pull it out. If it goes in, good. If it doesn't, shit. Now, you've seen that with a time frame. Worked. There you go. Right. Recommended fit is M7. Now, an M7 fit or an N7 fit, so the two around about there, is like 0.03-ish millimeters of crush. This one has, I mean, it's loads. If you took the worst case, so you'd take 46 minus 45.88, so your crush is 0.12. Bearing clearance, which I'm going to come to, is like fuck all compared to that. It's just ridiculous, right? Bearing clearance is measured in C numbers, so you've got have I got a bearing here with a fucking C number on it? I'm trying to find one. SKF Explorer. There we go. This one, don't know if the camera can see it. I'll try to read. Anyway, I'll read it. 6212C3. So the 6 specifies it's a ball bearing, deep groove ball bearing. The 2 is effectively the outside diameter, and the 12 means it's a 60mm bore, because you do 12 times 5 gives you the diameter, so that's 60mm bore. And then afterwards it said C3, which is the bearing clearance, so that is bigger than normal. CN is normal, C3 is bigger than normal, C2 is less than normal, and you kind of go from there. So CN is not usually labelled. So if you buy some bearings, they're not labelled CN. What's worthy of note is some manufacturers, like Enduro, they have ceramic bearings with C3 clearances, but I've not seen them actually marked on the bearing. I've seen it marked on the box. I mean, I could have got it wrong, but that's what I've seen. Right. The concentricity appears to be very good. Now, when I say appears to be, I did some basic DTI checks, so it's not as good as a CMM machine, but to be honest, the way it's made, so you've got your aluminium tube and then you machine one side and machine the other, you shouldn't really get it wrong. Okay, right. This is from SKF's manual. So, and it's around bearing clearance. Now, the key point here is this point. So you must ensure that the bearing has a minimum initial clearance of a size that, when it is reduced by the effects of mounting and other influences, is equal to or greater than the required minimum operating clearance. What that's saying is, when you put the bearing in the hole, yeah, it's going to get crushed. So as it gets crushed, the outside diameter gets slightly smaller, so your clearance gets smaller. So you need to have enough operating clearance. Now, in the case of this, the clearance reduction in Les's frame was more than a C5 bearing. So you can't get a bearing that would work adequately in this application. And that's the second point. Consider the reduction of clearance caused by interference fit. Right, bearing clearance. I just spoke about this. Bearing clearance is right here. So that is the bearing clearance. So there's a small gap between the ball and the inner and the outer race. So that is what allows the ball to spin. And that's a zoomed in bit of it. So if I take the... So if this is the bearing clearance here. So you can see where the ball goes. Oh, shite. And then there's a gap here. That's the bearing clearance. So you need to make sure that that is sufficient. Okay, right. And then we come on to a couple of things that surround Les's bike specifically. So the first was the shitty decals and all that bollocks on one side of the bike. Now, because the frame PF30, which is what that bike had, is 68mm and symmetrical, it doesn't really matter which way you put the bottom bracket in. It will work both ways. Normally I tell you to put it in through the drive side because that is the more loaded side. The crank is on that side. Now, Les wanted initially to use a 30mm crank, and when I did the calculations and all that kind of stuff, it wasn't possible. Now, the reason is, if I show you, this is a PF30 in its natural state. So this is how it looks. That is, on the right, a PF30 with one of my bottom brackets in it, and the key difference here is this. So this is the zoomed in PF30. See where the bearing is? The bearing is there. I'm just going to change this colour. The bearing is here, and the thing is, it's inside of the frame. Yeah, and it's the same thing on the other side. So whatever the tolerance is in the frame, which we know are out, it's undersized, it will crush the bearings and remove the bearing clearance. On this one, on the right, the bearing is outside of the frame on both sides, so it's largely unaffected by the crush of the frame. But it has a few little caveats here. Normally, if you went and put one of my bottom brackets into a bike frame that was made out of carbon with that kind of interference, it will break it. It would either break it or crack it or do something. Almost always. There's a piece of engineering judgment that I've taken that allowed me to calculate whether that was going to happen or not. And based on judgment, experience and all of that, then I elected to do it. Now, what I can show you is, I can show you in 3D what this actually looks like. So, bollocks. This is a cutaway of a PF30 to Shimano bottom brackets. This is the one that was fitted. And you can see, you can quite clearly see the bearing is outside of the frame. When you look at the Shimano one, if I just turn that off, sorry, not the Shimano one, the standard one, so for a 30mm crankset, you've got the bearings that are within the frame. So whatever crush is applied will crush the bearings. In the other one, which is this one, I don't know why the SolidWorks keep bollocksing up. In this one, they're outside of the frame, and you will inevitably distort this cartridge when you do this. But the level of distortion has to be manageable, and then you get it going away from a standard install to something to get the job done. So, I mean, the other solution to this would be to bore the bottom bracket. So you could take the frame, put it on a milling machine and bore around. The big problem with this is when you start to bore aluminium, it causes heat. Aluminium is an extremely good conductor of heat, so even if you put a load of cooling fluid on it, and I've seen this happen before, the tip goes round and then it galls, which is like friction welding itself, and then it pulls the insert out because the insert is not designed to take that kind of torsion. And to be honest, you don't know what kind of epoxy they've used, so it's better to go on the side of caution than not. So that's why I didn't elect to go down that route. The other option would be to machine Les a custom bottom bracket, so that he could have, well, the custom bottom bracket is just basically with a smaller outside diameter, so one for a 45.9mm hole, which is another option I could have gone down, but in the end I went down this road. Right, then the final thing is we have this, which is, I the cuntish shitbag scale of engineering fuckwittism. Now, if you're new to the channel, then this is like the best bit of the whole TV show. On the right, we have the lick, which is a euphemism for it being quite good. Then we have the shiz, which is a euphemism for it being not quite as good. Not a shitbag, borderline shitbag, definite shitbag, cuntish shitbag, and speck of shite on the anus of humanity. Which is really, really bad. You don't want to go down there. Right. So, we have, in borderline shitbag, not a shitbag, Nandrolone. Look, KG386. That video will be coming up soon. My new hairdresser. Fucking hell, she did a good job. Damn fine fuck as well. Right. Cocaine. The Look 695. And then controversially, we have the Look 795 Blade RS. Now, I have had a few people email me in, and I've seen a couple of these bikes. Now, they're supposed to come with a BB386 Evo bottom bracket, but I found a load of them to be slack fit. Now, the problem with saying something and not doing it is you are liable to consumer protection laws all over the world. So if you go and stipulate a standard, BB386 Evo, and don't say my standard deviates, then you're in a bit of hot water because people have bought the things and presumed it's this and not. So I don't think that bike is all that good. So there you go. So yes, so I'm not at the mercy of luck if anyone asks. The Finnish Prime Minister, I would get a picture of her, but I've forgotten her name. In fact, to be honest, I couldn't fucking spell it anyway. Ha! Belinda. She is off the scale, can you tell? Anyone who believes a manufacturer wind tunnel test, and there's lots of them out there who are that stupid. Drag numbers from shit realised. The Time Skylon, which is the gold standard of manufacturing that I've come across to date. So that is the dog's bollocks. If you want a well-made bike, you know, that is probably the best one to get. I mean, they're not infallible either. They can put crap out onto the street as well. But the way they make the bike and the method that they use is, in my opinion, superior. And then finally, we have the Focus Cayo of Les. I don't know what to say. To be honest, so I just struggle to believe that someone can put this out, that it's so far away from the spec. It's so easy to check, and I don't know how you can machine it wrong. Well, I do know you can machine it wrong. You could use a worn cutter tip and then not bother to check. But either way, it is drivel. Right, I think that's it. So without further ado, let's go back to whatever I was going to do. And now you rejoin me at Les's house. If you're wondering why I look so fresh, it's because last night I fucked the hairdresser and today she has styled my hair. Didn't she do such a good job? Yes. Right, let's go in.
Oh, we've got a bit of a gap there, Matt.
It should work. I've tested it with the Dura-Ace. I could go into the expletives around the machining.
Look at this. Just look at that veg. When does it stop?
When it runs out of energy.
Look. There's no there, is there? There is no friction.
Oh, I've also got a bag of... I think I brought the bag.
Look at that. Look at that, Reg. Do you feel that, Reg?
No, see it.
There's nothing there.
Clever lad.
See, I couldn't do all that. I ain't got the tools where to do that stuff like that. Look at it falling back on itself a lot.
Right. So, this... Right, on this side, normally, that is the drive side. You see where that flange is?
Okay. Oh, yeah.
But in your case, it's on the non-drive side. Because it's PF30... It's symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which way you put it in.
Yeah.
So I put it in that way.
Yeah.
and then the other side, which is your scabby side, and it has that metal metal piece in. I've left it as it is, so I didn't have to take it out. The fit in there is ridiculously tight. I don't know who machined it, but it's no surprise that you've trashed your bearings.
Was it that tight?
It was really tight. You'll see in the video when I upload it, but it was really, really tight.
So is that one piece? What?
It's one piece all the way through.
Oh, is it? It's not. I thought it might be just two end caps.
No.
One piece straight through, and you've gone through this way.
Comes in that way.
You pushed it in that way.
Yeah. So if you take this out, you'll see that this side.
God, that is smooth, man. That is scary smooth.
Well, you don't need ceramic bearings. You just.
I told you, mate, ceramic bearings. I've had some.
Well, you had the SKFs in before because I took them out, and here they are. So here's the little bag of bits.
Yeah.
So you've got. Well, they're the old NTN ones. That's your old SKF, and that is a good bearing.
That's still good, is it?
Well, yeah, but
it feels smooth, doesn't it?
It's
a
good
might
bearing.
be warped now, might it?
Yeah, but it was pushed into a hole. It was way too small.
Well, I pushed that one in.
Yeah, the aperture inside your bike frame is too small.
But I drove it, like I say, I collapsed the thing, didn't I?
Yeah, I mean that's an SKF. That's a genuine SKF bearing.
Yeah. The only reason I got on to NTNs was through you.
Oh well.
But NTN don't do wheel hub bearings for mine. My little ones.
You probably want Zen for your little ones.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That just pops like a front plate,
off,
innit?
yeah. So that pops off.
I tell you that, I can't believe how to. Don't drink.
I'm all right, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so that just pops off.
Yeah.
And then you've got your bearing in there, and you can see through.
Oh yeah.
If you ever want to run a 30mm, you just change that piece.
What do you mean? Well, if I take that out, will my old cranks go in there?
No, your old cranks are too narrow.
Too narrow?
Yeah. The reason why I've fitted this type is originally you wanted to fit that, didn't you?
Yeah.
That means the bearing is within the aperture of the bike frame.
Yeah.
Here, on this one, the bearing is actually outward of the bike frame, so it's in my tolerance and not the bike's tolerance.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
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 Because if that was pushed in a bit further, which is the problem you had with the SKF,
yeah,
it's within there, and then that squashes it. As it's squashed, there's no bearing clearance, and then that's where you get problem comes.
But that is ridiculous, isn't it? You do realise I'm going to put 40 mile on this afternoon.
But I hope it works.
Well, it does work a lot.
Well, yeah. I don't think you'll have trouble with it, to be honest. So yeah, you can see on this side, I've left it as it is because that metal piece was in the way, and I know I whinged like a girl. I didn't want to take it off.
Yeah. So, well, you don't know what's underneath. What the bonded it with.
Peel it off. But that's aluminium that's bonded in.
Yeah.
There's really no excuse for them making that so small.
Yeah. Well, it's how it is. That's how I bought it. It's a brand new bike, and I bought it.
I mean, how's anyone supposed to know?
You don't know. I mean, you heard the Focus before.
Yeah.
They're all made in China.
Yeah. Right. So then, Les,
Thank
what do you think?
Much. Absolutely smooth as silk.
Getting run over. Les is in the background. He's waving. Happy customer. Right now, it's time for me to leave. So ciao, ciao, and keep banging your hairdressers.